Back so soon? Oh no, what happened?
A little incident at the dog park. We gotta head to the vet.
Oh, not again. These bills.
We can use CashNet USA. We can apply in minutes, get a fast decision, and have the money in the account as soon as the same business day. All right, Cheddar, back in the car.
When you need money fast, be the hero. All loans subject to lender approval. Speed of funding is subject to verifications and your bank's processing times. See cashnetusa.com for more details.
Sponsored by Live Right, publishers of the new book Victorian Psycho by Virginia Fado. Soon to be a feature film, this riveting tale of a bloodthirsty English governess who seeks vengeance on the family she's been sent to care for has been called the Bloody Belle of the 2025 Literary Ball by Oprah Daily. Dive into the chilling mind of an iconic new literary psychopath in the horror novel of the year. Victorian Psycho, wherever books are sold.
One of a Kind with Rob Van Dam is recorded in front of a live studio audience.
You feel me? I hope you do. Rob Van Dam! Rob Van Dam! Rob Van Dam! I'm Rob Van Dam. The whole show.
All right. Hey, what's up? It's Dominic D'Angelo, and it is a Sunday night. It is not a Thursday night per usual. It's not trash night, but it is one of a kind. With who? It's with RVD and KT.
Hey!
What is happening? Hey!
Sorry to interrupt your Sunday night church, Dominator, but thanks for
Hey, that's okay. Happy to be here. Early birthday present for me to be with you guys.
Happy birthday to
Thank you. Yeah. Excited for it. Like I told you guys, I don't feel 40, but 40 is a good number. I like it. Yeah.
Like I've said many times, I didn't grow up till my mid-40s myself.
I got a ways to go.
Yeah.
I'm still banking on a growth spurt, too. That's going to happen. It's going to happen. But we're live here on rvdtv.com and RVD's YouTube channel. So if you're tuning in, be sure to hit subscribe, that subscribe button, and tune on in. And feel free to ask a question. Use the super chat. That always helps me keep it on the radar. But feel free to ask some questions, and Rob and I are happy to answer. So you guys had a busy week. Yep. Well, Rob, you did talk about the Only Wrestlers event just a little bit, too. Yep. How'd that go for you?
Yep. Show number 2 in Chi-Town, Chicago. It was awesome. You know, just how you want things to go in the direction as far as the fans support, getting behind it, growth, people understanding it. Got some of the boys behind the whole Only Wrestlers thing, like Luke Hawks and Violent J, and that's what we need is some of the guys that really see the potential. And we're doing more with the independent shows. There's a bunch of independent wrestlers in Chicago this time, and they had people voting on them and their placement in the card to an extent. And so, Luke's got that Wildcats course.
Yeah, where I started.
Yeah, that's right.
That's in about Frontier Pro Wrestling, and of course the other guy I mentioned. Who is it? No, Violent J's got. What's he got? He's only been around 25, 30 years now with the JCW. But anyway, Chicago was cool. Got to meet a lot of cool people. Got some interesting gifts. And it was a good show, and I liked the feedback that I read from it, from people saying that it was different, and I like that.
Well, the venue looked really sweet too. I saw a couple images and videos online, and it looked.
I kept forgetting I was at a strip club till somebody would mention it. And they'd say, "Wow, I wrestled in a strip club before." I'm like, "Oh, that's right," because it wasn't like there was any sign of it really.
No.
Yeah, it didn't look like it, but I have wrestled in strip clubs before. ECW used to stop, had a regular stop in New Britain, Connecticut, where we dressed upstairs, and there was a half wall, and you could look over the half wall directly right down onto the stage. And people from back then are going to remember this. What was so funny about this place, where we dressed upstairs, that area was used for the private dances.
Oh,
And so all they would do is when we were there, they'd pull a black curtain,
yeah.
kind of separate like this big row of chairs in that are backed into booths, and we'd be in there, changing, putting our boots on one, and like right next to us, there'd be like a dude or whatever, and we would just like throw the curtain open, and pretty soon the guy's surrounded by a whole bunch of dudes. Go, oh fuck yeah, bro! Like 4 wrestlers watching and laughing while he's trying to enjoy a private dance. New Britain, Connecticut. Yeah.
How about that? Oh man! So when you were saying it, I thought like it was just the wrestling show going on there, but at the same time, you're doing an ECW show. There's
yeah, it was like split, so you could do both at the same time.
That's hilarious.
Particular incidents, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's good stuff. Though J. Thomas Cassidy says our local strip clubs in New England have been converted to dispensaries. One even kept a pole.
Yeah, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, one of the ones here that we were talking to recently that has really big plans of doing a lot of stuff, but they're very successful. But they're talking about possibly being the first gentleman's club / marijuana dispensary out here in Las Vegas. So hopefully that goes through. Doesn't that sound like a cool place? That sounds like a place we'd like to hang out.
Yeah, that sounds like a good spot right there. Jeez.
Get the whole Vegas experience in one place.
In one place, yeah, basically, right?
Lovey's scratching me because she wants to play fetch with the Rock.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Hey, I want to thank YouTube Chris for putting up all the videos on the YouTube page with Sabu on it.
Yeah.
He's got our comments on fire. More people
There's a lot.
leaving comments, activity, great memories, obviously.
Yeah, and that's like he's like been posting one every day. It seems like at least one match a day. It seems.
Yep. Pretty soon, especially now that I'm able to walk up the stairs, I'm gonna go check out some of my VHS boxes and see what I have of Sabu. And not just, thinking of this project, but also, we got this, the documentary, which we haven't been able to put the finish on it yet, and for obvious reasons. But, man, I must have some of our very first I remember, I know I have mine. I can't remember seeing it. I remember seeing the actual videotape, seeing the date on it, Toledo, Ohio, and the date, but I don't remember actually watching. But that would be my first match, and Sabu was on the card somewhere there, but he didn't work with me. That was me and Dango and some kind of kickboxing match or something like we started out doing. But anyway, several from that time period, 1990, 1991, 92, 93, 94. Like I have most of my career on VHS. At a certain point, once I got into WWE, then it started like switching more over to the DVDs, and I have tons of those too, all still in the plastic because WWE would give them to me, and I would never put them in or watch them. In fact, I don't even have a DVD player that works now. If I do, it's not hooked up. And YouTube Chris has sent me like my whole career on DVD, and every once in a while I was like, "Did you watch it yet?" But that's not something I do. I don't know. People probably imagine like, man, if I was a wrestler, I'd sit home and watch myself all the time. I mean, I probably did till I was, 30 or something. I don't know. I mean, I remember I used to. I remember one time having a girl come over when I was a bachelor, and it was already like a done deal and everything. She was a nasty. Was cheating on their husband.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I was out of town and everything, and boom, picked her up, and I was young and stupid, and she's there, and I popped in like a demo tape, and I was showing her, and I was like, "That is what I do. Look how cool I am. This is what I do." And she was just like, "Yeah, whatever. I only got like, all right, I gotta go. But wait, you didn't see my best moves yet." I remember being that, but that was a long time ago. Yeah. No wonder I didn't know how to take the bra off in Blood Moon.
That's it, right? You're busy popping in your tapes.
Funny, huh?
Yeah.
Speaking,
never find out she was cheating.
oh, I don't know. I remember her telling me that like one, I don't know, it was once a month or something regularly. She would go to this big company meeting, you know, and then meet some guy there, you know, and it was like she was just someone that cheated on her husband all the time. And I was young and stupid and trying to get experience under my belt, but also was just like, well, if it's not me, it'll be someone else, you know.
Yeah,
A lot of times when I got beat up emotionally with the evil ex, a lot of times I think about that specific time, and I'm like, okay, that's karma. I'm getting karma for that. You know, I don't even know that dude, and hey, I probably could have caused a lot of damage or pain, or maybe just a little bit because of everything else. I don't know, but if you get the point, you know, I think karma has a way of balancing everything out.
Maybe he was cool with it.
She didn't sound like he knew, but who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Oh man,
you meet all types, especially when you hang out with strippers and girls like that. You know, girls that are open-minded and loose.
Yeah, right.
Morally loose.
Morally loose. Morally loose.
I never met a girl that was loose.
That sounds so gross.
That might be my YouTube. When I make a YouTube clip of this, I'm just gonna call it "Morally Loose Women." That'll be the title for that one.
Yeah. No. Yeah, you know. But anyway, dude, speaking of Sabu, if you don't mind going to our display that I sent you, something I want to talk about.
You had a little excursion with a oh, look at that shirt first real quick. Yeah. Show that real quick. So the whole effing show and that whole effing Sabu too. Look at that.
And here's this one.
And the tribute shirt too as well. The Trailblazer shirt. Yeah, look at that. That was available.
EC does hat, even though I got makeup on it. But.
Old school EC does.
That's what I'm saying. No, I thought he was in 64. That's just because nobody cares.
Nope. Heck yeah. And shout out to I believe they're called Tap 2. They made a Sabu shirt. And all the proceeds that they made off of it, $800, they donated it to Sabu's the GoFundMe. So,
dude, that's so awesome. Which, by the way, there was a comment on YouTube I saw where someone was like, "How could Sabu's family not have $10K for a funeral or whatever it was?" You know, I shouldn't say it like that. Maybe it's an honest question, but it came across real negative. It was kind of, you know, like, dude, that's stupid. You know, I don't know. Maybe I took it wrong. That does happen. But and I just responded like that's not the case. You know, like a lot of people feel honored to be able to contribute. I guess it's I mean, you know, a lot of times I will be, for instance, let's say I'm at the bar and I'm about to order a drink. All the fans a lot of times say, "Hey man, can I pay for your next drink?" I say, you don't have to do that. And I said, "No, would you mind? I would love to. I'd be honored, you know." And then sometimes they walk away. Sometimes they don't even talk to me or whatever. And I'm just like, you know, I get it. But I think, you know, with sometimes, and Sabu did do a GoFundMe before, or it was the other one. What was the other one? Kickstarter. I don't know which one. But when he was with Melissa, they were doing different things. She was trying to help him. And he was getting, I guess, hip surgery, but he also needs shoulder surgery because I'm not exactly sure where the funds went with this, but he had something there. He didn't want to do it. It was embarrassing, but finally, you know, he decided to go ahead and do it. And he was really broke and needed the money. This time, you know, people chipped in. They got the goal covered, and they got, you know, other people still wanting to contribute. I would love to put everything into his memorial site. I've said this before. I used to go to the Hollywood Forever Cemetery when I lived in LA, and it was so exhibitionist. It was entertaining to see like some of these either moguls that started the movie studios, you know, like I don't know, Louis B. Mayer, Cecil B. DeMille, but also people that started like the trains, the Rockefellers. It was just Morgans. It was just like people that had so much money. One guy, who is it? He has, I can't remember. Oh man, by the way, this isn't a good memory day for me because of the travel. So a few times, I gotta give myself a little bit of slack because usually I have an excellent memory. I like pulling facts out. I can't remember if was it Rockefellers, but there's somebody at said cemetery that has his site when you go see it. Not only does he have his own mausoleum, his own building that his body and his family rests in, but it's on a little island in a pond.
Yeah, wow. Holy crap.
There's really like no limit to what you can do. I'm sure that costs millions and millions, but I just imagine like, man, the more we can do, like people can go see his site, like Bruce Lee's. You know, you got a lot of them at the same place have like a big marble flooring on the ground, and then you got like marble benches so you can like sit there, and a big marble wall. A lot of times with a picture of the deceased. And I just have always been impressed with those, and always thought like, wow, that's a cool way to maintain respect, you know, in that manner anyway, and make it cool for everyone to come by. But I go
Fans could visit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I used to film it. I used to film RVD TV there, just by going around. Whoa, look at this one, and you know, like sometimes some Asian dude, I don't know exactly what he did. It's written in Asian, but I respect you, sir.
Wow, yeah, that's awesome.
Good for you.
The computer back so that we can have back support. Because then I feel so far away, but then it hurts my back.
How far back did it?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
You see on it?
Cool.
But yeah, it's no, I people going like asking that kind of question. Maybe the guy was just genuinely asking it, but yeah, a lot of that stuff too. I did see people kind of give that, oh yeah, he's a wrestler and like his friends can't help him or anything like that. Well, guess what? His friends were helping him. That was part of it. And fans. And like I see there's no problem, even if a wrestler had a lot of money or anything to that effect. Like, and you think about the family aspect of it all, like you know, all the different obstacles that they have to go through to set up the service, and they're dealing with grief at the same time. You guys are grieving about it all in your own ways, and everybody's having their own situation with it. So this helps ease that a little bit. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever, I don't think. And so
yeah, and in general, I started understanding that when I saw like movies that were going on Kickstarter, that you know, they're raising the funds for the movie, but also they're giving people a chance, like to have their names in the credits, you know, and stuff like that. And yeah, and sometimes the deals were worth it. Like, remember when the iPhone Watch, I think when it came out, I think it did a Kickstarter, and for like $150, you got a watch, and it was like totally worth it anyway. And it was a promotional thing to get everybody involved and get everyone, I guess, to pre-buy them, which was just fucking great, you know.
Hey, what's up, man? Yes, springtime is here, and guess what? That's WrestleMania season. That also means a lot of wrestling fans getting together, and you want to smell good. You want to smell great. You don't want to be that wrestling fan that smells bad. And hey, no offense, but there's a lot of them. And you always got to dot your I's and cross your T's when that comes to that. Smelling good. But there's no better way to smell good and smell better. Smell like you want to smell with Mando. I love Mando. They've been a great sponsor of ours for quite a while now, and it's always good to have them on board. I'm a huge Mount Fuji advocate, and I always feel great. The spray is awesome. The bar of soap is tremendous. I love the bar of soap. And the deodorant stick itself, it's great. You cannot beat it, and they have so many options that you can combine and get in with your starter pack too. So let's get to it. Mando is such a great product, and I just love the aspects of it all when it comes to what my everyday life. If I'm in a pinch and everything like that, I just use that deodorant spray anywhere, and then you smell dang good. Doesn't even matter. So there's whole body deodorant, and it was created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was misdiagnosed and mistreated. All products are baking soda free and paraben free as well. So you can choose from a variety of scents like bourbon leather, which is really good. That's a good choice. Clover Woods. Not familiar with that one, but I am very familiar with Mount Fuji, which is my number one. Or you can get Pro Sport too if you're super duper active and you like to make sure you're smelling good at the gym too. I always do that too. Mount Fuji covers those bases as well. So, without further ado, Mando's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like the mini body wash and the deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for our listeners, new customers get $5 off starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack. Use code RVD at shopmando.com. SHOPMANDO.com. Love saying that. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando.
Anyway, throw up our
Yeah.
message.
So there was a Liz Savage that tweeted at you earlier this week, and here it is, Rob. Exhibit A.
So I'm gonna talk about this conversation with Miss Liz here and break it down so that everybody can learn about it. Okay, so first off, I'm gonna start with this. I'm disappointed that you are acting like a mark. This here is Livid Liz because telling me that I'm acting like a mark. Okay, as if you are the authority on Sabu over Sabu himself. This is referring to she doesn't like my critique of the Sabu's book as of this date. Everything that I've said about it. I don't think that I've buried it. Every time I put Kenny over and say he had good intentions, Kenny Casanova, I say to me that he didn't capture the Sabu's personality and stuff, and I'll stand by that as a book critic. That is something that I am sensitive to. I have met with book authors before, many times over the years, book agents, all kinds of stuff, over and over. But quite a bit of experience with that. But one time here at this house, Tim Chismar brought his friend over, good dude, and they listened to me and recorded while I told them a story. I used to think I would actually write my whole book, and then I realized at one point that I would never finish it, and then I realized the benefits of having a ghostwriter, especially if it's someone that the publicist or the publisher, is used to working with, and if they do that, then they're used to selling books, and they know how to make the Bible, which is blah, 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 blah. So anyway, explored all the benefits. And this one time when Tim and Mark or Mike were over here, talked for, I don't know, 45 minutes, something, told a story, and they left and they wrote it. And when they brought it back for me to look at, I was like, dude, this doesn't even sound like me. Like, I don't even talk like that. Who is this? How did you get that off of what I said? And Tim right away was like, well, we didn't, we had a couple options to go with. There's one option where we can like say pretty much what you said, just maybe fix a couple errors if they're there or tie things in together. But then another way is to take more liberties. And a lot of the writers and talent will do it this way. And I said, no, I'm not cool with that way at all. Well, anyway, not working with those guys anymore, but I totally know that for me, if I read something and it doesn't sound like I said it, then I am really sensitive. That does mean a lot to me. For Sabu, not so much. Now, Livid Liz would like that wasn't the authority on him. Sabu, for him, what was important was money. He was hoping to sell this book. He was hoping to make some money. He needed money, and that was what was important to him.
Right.
What was that noise? Holy shit. Okay. When I did offer to, to look at it for him and stuff, we talked about maybe I would. And then it got to a point, where it's like, no, never mind. It's already done. I just want to sell it. Hopefully it'll do really well. That was him when he was speaking for himself. And now Sabu can't speak for himself, Liz. I'm sorry that me being the authority on Sabu doesn't work for you.
Yeah, right.
On that ridiculous note, I have something to announce on behalf of Saboo's family for everybody that's interested. They would like everybody to know that Sabu is going to have services in Lansing, Michigan, open to family, friends, and fans.
Wow.
Still waiting on some more details, but June 21st is that day that you want to know.
Good to know. Okay, June 21st. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Lansing, Michigan.
And more information on a service that will be here as well, of course, in Las Vegas. So far, not much has changed with the status of what we're waiting on. So we're still waiting on that. But by the way, Liz, I heard it was a toss-up, and the family wasn't sure if they should go with me or with Kenny Casanova to give his eulogy.
Oh.
Show the next message from
next message up. Here's the next one here, Rob. Yep.
It's disappointing you choose to complain so vocally now when you had the ability to voice your opinion on it before it was even published. You could have been more involved in the process back then. You could have read it and asked for edits. I know Taz did. Others did too. Okay, so first off, it wasn't my book. It was Sabu, and he had an author that was writing his book for him. It wasn't my position to step in and edit. And in fact, during that time, Liz, Sabu and Melissa were doing a lot of things, trying to make money, trying to save his image, trying to use social media to the best of their abilities to try to make financial sense. Now, I'm really glad Sabu had Melissa. When Sabu and Melissa were around, this couple and that couple were by no way a foursome. All right. Mm-hmm. We didn't gel like that, but I was very glad that Sabu had Melissa. Was he the happiest that I'd ever seen him in his life? Not necessarily, but he was the happiest he would ever be again.
Mm-hmm.
So I was glad that he had Melissa to help him with a lot of these things. And he didn't need my approval at that time. And he didn't seek my approval at that time. And I was glad. And that burden and that responsibility fell upon Melissa. And that was how they found Kenny Casanova, who is obviously Liz's friend, that she's butthurt over my critique over his book. I got to tell you, she wanted me to, we'll get to that again. We'll get to that again. I got another text from her or message from her, and she really had a lot to say here, and then she disappeared. I'm sure Kenny said, bitch, shut the fuck up. You're not doing me any good. I don't want him talking about this book anymore. But here we are talking about it more. She said I talk about it nonstop on my podcast. This one's for you, Liz. Would you mind putting up the next message from her?
Sure. So message 3.
And by the way, let me get back to that other one.
Oh, okay.
So it's disappointing that I'm so vocally now. I'm sorry to learn the timing of Melissa passing away and then Sabu passing away was inconvenient for you. When he was around, he could speak for himself. He can't speak for himself now. And now isn't a good time for Liz, for me, to be critiquing his book. Well, let me tell you something. My opinion on the book was made from the limited reading that I did do on it, my conversations with Sabu, and that included my conversations with Sabu about this book.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you want me to get into that too much, Liz, and I don't think I need to at this point. But let me just say, I've said this a lot. I read the beginning, a foreword written by me, where I say on there, Sabu and I, when we were training, I say, quote, Sabu and I, we, whatever the quote is, we literally beat the shit out of each other every day until we were dead. I am hypersensitive to that phrase. We literally talk about it every fucking week lately on this show about people that use the word literally when they don't know what the fuck it means.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
So a year ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, whenever it was that I read this book, I felt the same way. And I felt like he's making me sound like an asshole because I don't talk like that. We literally beat the shit out of each other. That's fine if there's feces in the ring. Until we were dead, that's fine if our hearts stop beating. Every day, I don't know, man. That is what it literally means, in case you don't know. I don't care if it became cool with some kids at a certain age to use it wrong, but it's not cool with me. I think people that say that sound really stupid. And so, of course, my opinion, my critique is that he made me sound stupid.
Yeah. Absolutely saying that.
Yeah. So again, Livid Liz, sorry you don't agree with that. Sorry the timing didn't work out with you. I don't know what Taz did. And you know, here's the thing. She says you could have read it and asked for edits. Here's the thing. I do a lot of interviews.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube, fucking Zoom, written. Yeah,
Yeah. Yep.
They almost always say, is there anything you don't feel comfortable talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And I always say, fuck no. I mean, once it comes out of my mouth, I'm done with it. And that's how I feel. And so that's my personal policy that Livid Liz might not understand. You know, once I gave that forward, I didn't want to reread my own words and then have to correct it. And I didn't know he was going to change my words to make me sound like a dumbass. And if I would have wanted to protect myself more in that way, then you're right. That was an option. Sometimes when I'm doing an interview and they say, is there anything, you know, you're uncomfortable talking about? Sometimes I go, you know, taxidermy is a pretty uncomfortable subject.
I don't like that one. I don't know too much on that.
It's creepy, right?
Yeah.
Ooh. But that's besides that. And then they always say this too, you know, when we're done with this, you know, we can send it to you and you can approve whatever. I'm like, that is not my policy. So I never, ever, ever, ever do that. If you can find one time that's an exception, I'd be surprised. Now, if it's my production, like Headstrong, that's something different. I go over and over and over that and say, no, I need it, you know, 1/10 shorter of a second on that frame. Cut it. But with that, no, I never, dude. I don't watch my matches that Chris is putting up on YouTube. I know he's hoping that I'll watch them. He's like, you know, I want to see this one with you and Sabu and the Dailies. Chances are, you know, but whatever, dude, that's me, and I don't watch myself. And so anyway, in response to, I could have, why the fuck would I? Why would my position have been through, hey, Sabu, you know that author that Melissa got you that's writing that book? They interviewed me. Let me read it and edit it and ask for changes before you do anything with it. That was none of my business. Never would have been. Never would have been. So let me see what else you wrote.
Yep. So this is the third one we got.
She's pissed here. So that's why she's livid, Liz. She says she's pissed, but I think she's livid.
Yeah, she's pretty livid.
Well, she says, I'm talking about Kenny Casanova on my show nonstop. Guess what? Here we are, Livid Liz. This was a labor of love, not some project to get Kenny over. Kenny has been in the wrestling biz for 30 plus years. Holy shit. Yes, I remember growing up watching Kenny. He inspired me and a whole generation of my peers to try to fucking capture characters and portray them through visual dialogue. He's my hero, 30 years. Wow, that means since 1995. Who'd he ever beat?
Yeah, right. I remember watching him fight Razor Ramon and Bret Hart in 1990.
So I don't want to bury Kenny, and that's not my point. I don't even think I owe an apology, because every time I bring it up, I always say I think he had good intentions. I disagree with the choices that he made, and I still would. She says, why don't we have him on the show? I told him maybe I'll have him on the show, but first thing I would ask him is, why did you change my words and then put in there literally beat the shit out of each other until we're dead? If he can explain that to you guys, then we'll start there. Mm-hmm. And maybe he can, because authors do have to make choices like that. And the truth is, even though I can't imagine Sabu saying the lines that are in the book, it really would be hard to actually capture Sabu's words and put them in a book where it makes sense, because he kind of talked like somebody that finished school like in the 7th grade. There's a reason for that. I don't think Sabu graduated.
Yeah.
And he's not. He's always said he's not that good at reading and writing. And of course, he didn't proofread his own book. So why the fuck am I going to proofread it if he's not even going to proofread it? But what I'm talking about when I say that his that the language is just like, let me ask other wrestlers that have podcasts. Francine, you know Sabu. Franchise, I don't know if you're still doing your show, but you know Sabu. Stevie, tell me, does this sound like something Sabu could possibly say? And this is for Livid Liz, by the way. Okay. So when we started whipping the dog shit out of each other with strands of the barbed wire, which incidentally felt like fish hooks under your skin, I had about enough and started thinking about taking it home. I wrapped Terry Funk in a shit ton of barbed wire, put him on a wooden table at ringside, as we had planned, and then hit him with a running leg drop from the ring apron through the table. Okay, it's not bad, and I'm going to get to that too, because show me her next message.
Sure. So this one here.
Okay. The bottom I'm going to start with. Okay.
Yeah.
Sabu had full creative control over the book, yet you choose to slander something you never even bothered to read. Well, my original response, was that I couldn't get past even my part. And then I looked at the end, and the end did not sound like him at all. The fuck yous, where he says, "You, sir, I could do without it." And he didn't have that big of a vocabulary. And so my point was, if you didn't get my part right, why suffer through the whole thing when I try to read it and it doesn't sound like my brother Sabu as I know him? Here's another one, Stevie. All right. This complimentary version of Vince would only be short-lived for me, however. The second night, Vince had me walk out to ringside with him before the show. We were talking about doing a spot where I would jump from the ropes to bump John Cena through the announcer table. Distance-wise, I had done spots like that before, and I didn't seem like it would be a problem. Vince seemed unsure, though, with my confidence.
Distance-wise?
Yeah.
Not sound like him.
No.
Truthfully, if it was the way that Sabu sounded, he would probably be like, they want me to do this thing, but fuck, it was too far.
Yeah, you can even read his text messages.
I was going to do that. I forgot.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I forgot I was going to do that. But there's good news, because we're not going to be done talking about him anytime real soon. I personally hold a towel over a massive wound he had just sustained, as a doctor said to him, "You need to go to the hospital right now." All right. Anyway, maybe there's someone else talking about Sabu on that one. But one point that I want to make, she did inspire me to read more of the book, and maybe she did do him a favor, because it's not that bad as I thought it was.
Sponsored by Liveright, publishers of the new book Victorian Psycho by Virginia Fado. Soon to be a feature film, this riveting tale of a bloodthirsty English governess who seeks vengeance on the family she's been sent to care for has been called the Bloody Belle of the 2025 Literary Ball by Oprah Daily. Dive into the chilling mind of an iconic new literary psychopath in the horror novel of the year. Victorian Psycho, wherever books are sold.
I looked at my pages at the beginning, and, given what I just said, like, you have to make some changes to keep the flow of it, whatever. It wasn't that bad. I didn't come across the literally beat the shit out of each other again. And I didn't read the end because I know that one just pisses me off. But I did read several of the other pages, and it's not as bad as I thought, especially when I think about how Sabu really talked. There was something in here. I don't know if I could find it quick enough, but he's talking about when he first shows up at WWE, and he's talking about the big production trucks and big hoses he has to step over and stuff. And it's just, it's not in Sabu's vernacular. And, for me, it's like people that don't know him, so they, maybe to him, they think he talks like that. That's not the worst thing in the world. And I'm not saying don't buy this book. It's the shits. I had said he didn't capture the Sabu that I know. And, here's the thing, too. I had Tommy Dreamer on the show with me, and I had Taz on the show with me. And they both agreed, like, Sabu wouldn't know what a watermark is and talk about a watermark on a picture or whatever. But at the same time, they both have their own forwards in the book. And they never said anything about whether they were unpleased or maybe pleased with their forwards. I don't know. Maybe they never read it. I don't know. But I saw that the Tommy Dreamer ended. So what I'm saying is that she had a point. I thought maybe I should read more. And I thought when I read more that I was going to hate it more. But I actually don't. And it's not that I hated it. It's just that I couldn't get into it or get past certain things. I couldn't get past the point that this isn't my friend, my brother talking to me. He doesn't speak like that. And for me, that is very important. Like I said, it's very important in my own book, which has been an issue with more than one writers in the past. Some people don't care. Sabu didn't care.
Why do you think he did the fuck yous in the end, just to create drama?
It comes across like an idea, like a sales gimmick. Like, I don't know. I would like to find out from the writer's perspective. Was that Sabu's idea to put that in there? Or did you just think maybe that was going to help sell more books? But I do want, I can't, like I said before, I can't imagine that Sabu felt so strongly about Jim Cornette that he was like, I got to talk about him in my book. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But maybe he was asked, what do you think about the following people? And he agreed to do it and say, him? Oh, no, fuck him. Yeah, he never sold for me. Fuck him. Or that guy, he was a prick. But yeah, he was all right, though. I could picture him going through like that. It wasn't a good idea. I watched an interview today of Sabu saying that after he said everything, that he didn't like seeing anything that he said once it was put into words.
Sure,
Yeah, because he was saying, like, I'm talking, whatever, but then when I read it, it comes across, more not as fun as it was when it was saying it.
Right. Well, the thing is, too, is like I keep telling people I didn't know Sabu wrote a book, like had a book about him, and until you mentioned that he did, and then you mentioned the ending, and I remember that being the primary thing that hit the dirt sheets was
Yeah.
the thing at
And
the
to
end.
me, and to me, it still is. Even though I say right now I am going to read more of the book, and then we will talk more about it. I'm not giving it a complete fair shot, as Livid Liz is telling me. So, I think I think she has a good point that maybe there's some things I gotta get past, like his vocabulary, the way that he taught, the way that he grouped his words, and it would be hard. He was a caveman.
Yeah.
I mean, we had him on this show.
Yeah.
He's not all about. And one thing about me, I happen to be really good at grammar. I do make typos, but I have a very good understanding of the English language and the rules with it. So I'm going to notice when mistakes are made. I'm always pointing them out, whether it's typos in books, punctuation errors, whatever. And again, I make my own. I'm not, an excellent typer or anything like that. But there's a lot of 75-cent words in there, and it was definitely Kenny's choice to use those in order for him to explain what he was getting from Sabu and translate that to writing. So, I'm gonna give the book a chance under those kind of guidelines and understanding, and see if maybe maybe it's a good story, maybe captured maybe. Really. I'm gonna give that a chance. Go back. Will you go back to the message again, or go to the last one?
The last one that we did?
Yeah. I want to.
Yep.
Okay, so this is something right here. So I said, so Liz, you think if you had a forward that was written by you, and they're not your words at all, you need to read the rest of the book, huh? And this line right here got like so much attention, And I said, you're a bit of a stupid, aren't you, Liz? And some people could take that, which I think maybe some did. It doesn't seem like a lot of them did, but somebody was like, whoa. There's a couple like, whoa, if you get the chillest guy in the world to say the C word, that's a new level. But you have to understand, I'm saying it just like that. Oh, you're a stupid cunt. But not like, you're a stupid cunt. But that's how they read it, just like I could say, hey, if you don't believe what I'm saying, then fuck off. What am I going to do? I got nothing for you. That you could read that as saying, fuck off. But yeah. I don't talk like that. And I don't talk like you're a stupid. I was doing like they do in England, like they do in Scotland, definitely in Australia, as so many people have agreed with me on when I explained it. And basically everywhere in the UK, it's almost a term of endearment over there. Like two dudes to each other, will be like, what are you gonna do, you fat? And they'll say, oh, mind your own business. Well, yeah, but they're just, they're having fun.
That's how they talk, yeah.
Yeah, probably, but reading it and knowing that it could be taken and read that ugly, I will probably take that down. Likely, because but my point is, though, I don't talk like that, but the way that it's written sounds different, and that's kind of the point to a lot of what I'm saying. At least those were my words, just read with a different enunciation. For Sabu to explain, boom, 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 boom. I hit you with a chair. You Potter, let me, bam, let me throw it at you. And, fucking hit the road. He's not going to say like, with a slight hesitation, perhaps a pause would increase the dramatic moment. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that is just not him. And knowing him the way that I do, I think, man, too bad we didn't really capture the him that I know, but basically I don't think I said anything more detrimental than that. I know that, the book would have a better chance of doing well if I had my blessing instead of me saying, you know, I kind of missed. And I'm going to give him another chance for that.
Yeah,
I'm going to read it all, or as far as I can get, and rejudge it.
And it's got to be a challenge too. Like if you think about how Sabu talked and conveyed himself and stuff like that. But I mean, like if you accrue some hours of dialogue and certain things like that, as a writer, it's a hard challenge, but it would be a fun challenge, I would think, to try to convey that voice and make that in his voice. And I think it's something that would be doable. It's a shame it didn't necessarily pan out the way. And like you probably said, Kenny probably had good intentions and was genuine in maybe what he wanted to do for Sabu. But it's
no doubt. And you know, like I just this book that I thought of, Charles Cromaldi. He was a mobster with the Chicago outfit, and the guy that wrote his book interviewed him, several hours, and then rewrote it. But what he did was there's like narration in between, you know, and then there'll be like quotes where he tries to say it in the dude's words, but that kind of keeps it moving and stuff. And I thought that would be good if it was like, fucking Sabu got to be in his hometown of Detroit for WrestleMania, whatever, representing ECW originals, and then put him in quotes and say, we were there and Rob knows we didn't even have any fucking t-shirts for sale. What the fuck? Whatever. I mean, if a book, I know Kenny's open to critique more than Livid Liz is.
Yeah, for sure. And a perfect example of that was Terry Funk's book. I read Terry Funk's more than just hardcore, and I could imagine Terry Funk saying every word of it. And it was ghostwritten by Scott E. Williams, and he did a really good job of it. And it was there's a way to do it. It's tough, but it's certainly that's the point of a biography and having a good.
Mine has to be that way.
Yeah.
Unless I'm not around anymore when someone fucking does it and I don't have control. Otherwise, that's the most important thing to me.
Absolutely. Dirty Dick Flair, who is Sabu's co-host for Sabu Speaks, he said he was a decent speaker once he got going, but definitely not the best reader or writer. His texts are legendarily bad.
I was going to do that and I forgot. I was going to send you some text to put up there and then compare that with the dialogue.
Yeah.
We still got time.
Oh, man. Well, the funny thing is that I would be texting with him too. And the fun thing was like, I called him on the phone and we talked about like podcast stuff a little bit, merchandise stuff. And then like I always had his number and stuff. So I would text him again and be like, hey, man, I want to send you some shirts and stuff like that for this and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, who is this? Oh, it's Dominic, Rob's co-host and stuff. And he's like, oh, hey, man, sorry. And then it was just like, I love it, too, because he would always put right on. And it would just be RT on.
Yeah.
Yeah, RT on, right on. But,
too.
Yes, with comments, too.
Here's an example. Can I read this one on there? Hey, Joey the Doc guy wants shoot some footage of me, you. Can we? Hey, Joey the Doc guy
said it again.
Me with you. Can we? Sure when. He's come to me at about 9 p.m. That's the Sabu that those of us that really know him know.
Yeah.
And so compare that with the watermarks. And incidentally, I noticed the weight was distributed unevenly when I tried to suplex him. No.
Is that William Regal's biography? No, it's like I'll read a book too, and that'll be if it's not in that person's voice, it's gonna give me less incentive to read. I'm like because it doesn't sound like the guy.
Right.
No?
That was the issue that I had, but I'm going to try it. I'm definitely going to read more. I don't know for sure that I'll finish it. Definitely going to dive in some more. Like I said, when I looked at it today, I was pleasantly surprised. It wasn't. I was being hard on the whole book based off some of the parts that I had pre-selected, or not pre-selected, but that I had been exposed to. You know what I mean? Like I thought I saw enough of it to where I was like, what are the chances that every time I just open up a random page, that's a part I have an issue with? Yeah, but today when I looked through it, there were several pages that I was just like, yeah, that's not bad. Even me talking.
Yeah. Hey, there you go. Well, you guys can get it on Amazon too. So it's on Kindle. You can get it on Kindle and you can get it on the paperback. If you guys want to give it a try, peruse through it and get a Sabu collectible at the very least. So there you go. Cool. Good stuff though, Rob. Yeah, that was quite the conversation you had with Liz Savage. Quite the fruitful discourse, if you will.
That does sound ugly if people are picturing me saying, well, you're a stupid cunt. But people are always like going to read,
They'll read into, how.
Like I said, it's your reaction that carries the drama.
Absolutely.
Yo, Rob, we're going to take a quick time out just to say that this week's episode of One of a Kind with RVD is presented by Get Blitzed. Get Blitzed Lit Aid Nano-Infused THC Syrup is a premium cannabis-infused syrup formulated with nanotechnology for fast-acting effects. And that advanced nanotechnology formulation allows for quicker onset and enhanced potency compared to regular THC syrup. It's Delta-9 and legal in all 50 states, every single one. And you have several syrups to choose from Blue Raz to key lime pie to pina colada to tiger's blood to cherry to grape. Just head to get-blitz.com, use promo code RVD, and get 15% off your whole order. Could be a bottle, could be a bundle, your choice. But yes, head to get-blitz.com, use promo code RVD, and it is by Mickey Ray Sinatra and Courtney. Take a look. Head to get-blitz.com, promo code RVD, get 15% off. It's one of a kind, baby.
Speaking of books, though, somebody did chime in earlier on. Andrew Vincent Brown says, just purchased the 4 Agreements. Thanks for the recommendation, RVD. There you go.
Can't go wrong with that as long as you're looking for enlightenment, self-growth, and an easy to understand perspective of retraining your perspective as an adult. Great book, excellent book. I wish I could reread it right now.
So what'd you read first, the 4 Agreements or the Celestine Prophecy?
I read the Celestine Prophecy first. That was a life changer that really made me open my mind to see the world as energy and to start really paying more attention to synchronicities, and that helped me feel so different about my position in life, in the universe, and society too, and just like, wow, made me grow up a lot. It made me realize how important it is to me to be a good person and to be honest, and what other qualities are important to me that I want to be good at, that I should be proud at, that I am good at,
Yeah. Well, how old were you when you started reading that book?
I think it was around 2007.
Okay.
I was leaving WWE and was getting very spiritual. I was noticing all these synchronicities, and with WWE, I was at a point in life where I felt like I needed to leave to grow. My path that I was on, I wondered, why am I here? Sometimes when I wonder that, it's like, it's a scary question. Like, what am I doing here? Why the fuck do I want to be here? And it was definitely, months of that. And then me feeling like I got to go in order to be spiritually well, because I felt not well, like toxic, like I was so stressed from the monotony of the traveling, burnout on the politics, burnout at problems at home that I'm not even there to try to fix. Fucking, what am I doing? The longer I'm doing this and extending the road that I'm on, the more I'm procrastinating solving huge life problems that are fucking staring at me in the face. And when am I gonna confront that? And it was a leap of faith. I remember thinking, I guess it was 2007, but I remember thinking like wow, I've been under contract like pretty much my entire adult life. I've always had contracts and money, and here I am walking away on my own, with them saying, hey, we want to sign you, and me saying, I can't, I can't. I'm listening to my heart.
Look at Lovey. She was watching TV.
Taking a leap of faith anyway. And it was, it was a pretty big moment for me in my inward journey.
Yeah, man, that's good stuff.
When Rob was going through that time, maybe people does, he write down like synchronicities in his life. And then I just found one of the books he do that, and I just opened it on a random page, and it said, I was on an airplane, I needed a pen, then someone dropped a pen, then another person's foot kicked it to me.
Yeah, I kept track of all that stuff.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah,
That's cool shit.
yeah.
All right, I gotta read this book, Rob. I've had it. I bought it when we started.
Several of them. I got several of them, and when I was really unsure about leaving WWE, like that was at that time like the biggest decision ever for me to make, you know. And of course I had some people telling me that I was stupid for doing it and whatever, and I was like really questioning it. And what I did was I tried to figure out the meaning of these synchronicities, and I read that book backwards to try to figure out, you know, did I manifest this? Or was it already happening and there's clues along the way that it's going to happen? And man, just through some of that, it just broadened my mind so much that it made me a spiritual person. And I really wasn't really before, or maybe I was just because I believed in ghosts or something, but not a consciously spiritually aware self growth and connected to the universe person. That just happened when I was leaving WWE.
Wow, how about that, man? Yeah, that's some good stuff. I'll have to rip open that book. I think you have it right over there. So, all right, guys. Yeah, if you haven't
about the 4 agreements, you'll love it if you haven't read it.
One of my coworkers, she was telling me about the 4 agreements too. So, definitely on. Yes, I got to read more of that stuff and less fiction stuff too. Laura Alvarado. Hopefully, I said that good enough. Rob and Katie, blaze it up. Dom, have a drink. Love you guys. Enjoy your show. I enjoy you very much. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Laura.
We got some super chats in here. Frankie, I'll get to yours in a second. We'll do. Oh, someone just said, Gem the Dawn. Oh, thanks, Gem the Dawn. Smoke one up for me, Rob. Great Only Wrestlers show. Much love, RVD fam. So he's shouting out to you for that.
Thank you.
Also, they are asking, and I think I do know the answer to this. Triple E asked, RVD, is there a replay of the Only Wrestlers in Chicago that they can watch?
Yeah, there is. And I think it's available at onlywrestlers.com. I know that they were I saw it the next day. I didn't watch the show, but I saw that they were making it a replay available. So,
yeah, I think Triple E, you can go to onlywrestlerslive.com and you can that's how you can access the replay, I believe.
Interesting.
So take a look, see.
Yeah, I got to meet a lot of the local Chicago wrestlers. They were cool, very grateful to be there. A lot of good energy. I opened up the show, you know, welcoming everybody, talking about Sabu for a few minutes. And then I was pretty busy in the back. Besides signing autographs, you know, obviously I had a nonstop line that I had to the show, I didn't think they were going to start the show till I finished my line, so there was a little confusion. Melissa was in the ring, starting to announce, and I was like, Melissa, hold on. And she was ignoring me because she kept hearing, Melissa.
She loves a fan.
Melissa, yeah, she thought I was a fan or whatever. And Melissa, you know, and then finally I said, it's RVD yelling at you. And she was like, and I said, hold on a second. I went down there. And I was like, I didn't want you to start the show yet. I wasn't thinking about the live stream or anything. I was just thinking, like, why are we starting when I got, you know, this line of people here? Like, I don't want to sign during someone's match because that's rude.
Yeah.
So basically, I got to turn and tell all these people, either I'll come back out, we got to make some time for you at intermission or afterwards or something. And I was just like, I just wait a few minutes. But anyway.
Facade said it's on the Only Wrestlers YouTube. Hey, Facade.
Hey, there you go. Sweet.
Hey.
Heck yeah.
Good to see him as well, as always.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then I was pretty busy in the back for all the rest of the time. So I missed a lot of the show. It seemed to go by really quick. They were like, you know, boom, this many matches, this many. And so I didn't actually get to see a lot of the action, but I'm okay with that.
The reception's pretty good overall, though, the feedback you gotten and everything?
Yeah, good energy. The people are grateful.
A lot of people were like, why can't every wrestling show be at a strip club?
Heck yeah, why not?
There's a question that says, what's Sabu's favorite songs? And you said Sabu was really musical.
Yeah.
But one thing Chris Masters posted that he would be in the dressing room blaring rap, and then Sabu was like, turn it off.
Yeah.
Doesn't like
Dango, yeah, so me and Dango used to listen to NWA, and it wasn't his thing, you know.
So was he more of a rock guy?
Yeah, like who sings Girls, Girls, Girls?
Motley Crue.
Crue.
Okay.
That's why he liked that stuff, yeah.
Oh, he would have vibed with Bubba Ray and David. That's like their and Dolph Ziggler too. Nick Nemeth loves Motley Crue.
Okay, yeah, I remember jamming to that.
Well, speaking of some WWE talent, somebody did chime in with this super chat here. I was going to ask you about it anyways, but Frederick Reimer, thanks for the $5. He says, "What are your thoughts on R-Truth and Carlito being released from WWE today? Most of the WWE's roster seems completely taken aback by the news." Yeah, but when that hit your radar, Rob, what'd you think? R-Truth and Carlito, both of those.
And they both have relevant storylines right now. Like Carlito's over there with Dirty Dom, and
yeah, he's in the thick of Judgment Day, and then R-Truth just wrestled John Cena on Saturday's main event on NBC. So it's really, and obviously he's been such a mainstay for them for years and everything.
Yeah, it's the best-selling T-shirt. They said or something like that, like his T-shirt.
Yeah,
really popping off right now.
John Cena, and man,
yeah.
Yeah, it's a surprise. It's a surprise. I'm not going to say I'm shocked. I don't get shocked. And every time, every time people get fired and the headlines are like, WWE talent is shocked, I always laugh a little bit because that's always funny. Like, when are you going to be prepared so you're not shocked? Like this happens. But it was a hell of a run. He was there, 25 years or more?
So he started in 2000, I think, with WWE, maybe late 99, but he was with Road Dogg, and he was K-Quick at the time. And then he wrestled with them for a few years, got released, went to NWA/TNA, became their champion, and then obviously came back and had a run as a heel with Cena, and then the little Jimmy thing as a babyface, and then he was there for 15 years after the fact. So
I remember him. It seems like he was there the whole time that I was there.
Yeah.
And, I hung out with Mike Chioda, as you know, and Chioda and R-Truth were really good friends. So, so I would sometimes, ride with or hang out in the same car with R-Truth through Chioda. R-Truth and I were friends, but I don't know him like super well. It was Chioda and him that were tight, and then me and Chioda, they were tight. But he liked to smoke, so that was a cool thing to have in common. But I, like when I was there, he was, I don't know, I guess more, I think he got his big push after I left. I think he was still like on his way up with.
So around 2010, they turned him heel.
Okay.
And he was tagging with Miz at the time. And so they teamed up at like Survivor Series that year. So it was John Cena and The Rock going up against R-Truth and Miz. And then the R-Truth had a little bit of a feud with John Cena. And he was like smoking cigarettes and all that shit. And it was a wild heel turn, but it was a fun heel turn.
Yeah, I know people have always laughed their asses off at him. Like he's always entertained the fans a lot. I've always seen that reaction. Like fans think he's
and he looks
funny
the same.
as hell.
Yeah, he doesn't change. It's like I literally saw the clip of him as K-Quick, so back in like 2000, and he didn't look different at all. It's crazy. Yeah,
I didn't know about Carlito. That's a shame because I know not too long ago he was saying like he was hired, but they weren't using him, and he was kind of like wanting to work. I think. Which I would love to get paid to sit at home, but a lot of the guys are the other way around because it's not a good thing if you're looking to, do something with your career.
Right.
But I didn't even know about that till you just told me, and they're both, surprised, but I'm not shocked. And as far as that 25-year run, whatever it was, that's just like I told Kyoto. Well, that was a good run,
Right.
Good.
Well,
I don't know what it's about or whatever, but I'm never shocked because it's only a family. It's a family with rules. It's not an unconditional family.
Right.
It's a
Because
very conditional family with an expiration date.
yeah, you were even saying, I can't remember if you used an example, but like when you were in the thick of WE and everything like that, and somebody got released, you said you weren't shocked at the time. Or
Well, I never. I would always be like, "Oh, I'm still going though." Oh, okay.
I'm still good. Am I here?
Right. And every year when when they do a mass firing and shit, and then people are like, "Oh, I can't believe they got rid of me," or even if it's someone else, I can't believe they got rid of so and so. I'm always like, man, I always am very vocal about saying I never felt untouchable like that ever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Never in my career did I feel like, man, I am totally not expendable. Without me, this whole company would fucking boom, go down the drain. They need me. I've had other wrestlers tell me, bro, what are you talking about? You don't need to submit to the dress code, bro. They need you. And even when they would say that to me, I'm like, yeah, right. Delusional.
Well, there's like I'm sure there's a certain leniency with, hey, your value is here and somebody else's value is over here. It's like lower down or something like that. But if you're a Vince McMahon or you step back and look at the big picture, everybody could be expendable to an extent where it's just like, okay, yeah, we're going to lose money losing Steve Austin here, but hey, let's bring in this guy, this John Cena fellow, and see how he does or whatever, you know? It's just, it rotates and cycles through. It's unfortunate. It sucks when people get released and stuff like that, but it's an unfortunate, sad part of the business for sure too at the same time.
Right. Yeah. It's disappointing, but it's something that I think everybody needs to keep hold of and keep themselves grounded and realize, it's a family in quotes, and, and you build great relationships. You find people that you love that you may talk to possibly till the rest of your life, but you both just are working at the same job right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, even if they're like thinking of it from even a football perspective, like a pro football, hey, people want to be a team effort, but it's really, you got to focus on the individual to an extent, and you got to worry about what you're doing or else you're gone. And that's it. So, frustrating stuff. Well, Carlito did have a little fun with his release today, though. He did say this. He said, "My contract is up in 2 weeks. It will not be renewed. On top of that, WWE's demanding I pay back the money they paid me for apparently stealing money from the company. I had my lawyers look into it, and after reviewing footage on Netflix for the past months, they suggested I pay them back the money."
Oh my God.
And then he said, "All jokes aside, gracias WWE, especially the WWE Universe, Los quiero mucho. P.S. I'll reappear again in another 13 years. Dios ni los bendeja."
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Pretty funny. And they did use the Homer Simpson meme where he's like sinking back in the bushes.
That's funny.
So yeah, it was good stuff.
Yeah, maybe we'll see him a little more than we would see him at Brian Cage's activities when I leave home once a year.
Yeah, for Brian Cage's parties.
Yeah.
Get him to sign. Hey, Carlito, sign up for Only Wrestlers.
I liked it. Yeah, right. I liked his self-written eulogy that he wrote after the spear. That was funny too.
Yeah, that was funny too.
Yeah.
Sponsored by Live Right, publishers of the new book Victorian Psycho by Virginia Fado. Soon to be a feature film, this tale of a bloodthirsty, vengeful English governess has been called the bloody belle of the 2025 Literary Ball by Oprah Daily. Victorian Psycho, wherever books are sold.
Let me say congratulations to my friend Chuck Zito. Check this out. I didn't even tell you about this yet, baby.
No.
Oh, holy shit. That's Wednesday, June 4th. Damn it.
Wow.
Was it in Vegas or LA?
LA.
Oh.
But Chuck Zito, An American Story. It's the man, I might be able to fly in. It's a screening of it looks like his documentary, and look at the stars in this. Like I don't know if you can see the
Mickey
list.
Rourke. I see Mickey Rourke.
Sylvester
Stallone.
James Caan. Yeah, like
Chaz Palmeri. I love Chaz Palmeri.
We might be able to just fly there.
Yeah.
I think I could fly.
What?
Tony Danza. Heck yeah. Frank Stallone.
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah. Andrew Dice Clay.
Chuck Zito was a bodyguard for all of these people.
Dude, that's sweet.
Like Pam Anderson, Sean Penn, I think Travolta. He was well, if you don't know,
I want to go.
He's a legit badass. He's his book is called Street Justice. If you want to look it up and learn about Chuck, he's president of the Hells Angels, a chapter in New York, and what a great, exciting, adventurous life he's had. He was a bodyguard for like almost every major celebrity back in the day, and still does sometimes, although now he's mostly friends with them. We saw him at the UFC fight recently. A couple months ago. Hadn't seen him in a long time, but love Chuck. Always have. He invited me to this. Congratulations, Chuck. Chuck Zito, An American Story. I can't wait to see it. Hopefully I can make this this screening. What else did I want to say about him? Street Justice.
While you're thinking about it, someone asked where I got my hat. I got it on WWE.com.
Oh, there you go. All right.
I love, of course, the font, and I guess it's called an A something like this type of hat. Like I like how big it is on top.
Yeah, there's a certain, I can't remember what they call the versions of those hats. Yeah, but I like the flex tip. I do that ones.
Chuck's most famous story. It was irrelevant, dude. I stole the Van Daminator from him.
What?
I sure did.
What?
I forgot about that. I fucking thank you, Chuck. Thank you. Chuck. When I met Chuck Zito, we were at an autograph signing in Rhode Island, Providence, Rhode Island, at the Dunkin' Donuts Center, and I was there for Stacker 2, the GNC thermogenic pill. I was there signing, and Chuck came over and introduced himself. He was a wrestling fan, and he gave me a T-shirt. And it was a cartoon of him with his fist in Jean-Claude Van Damme's face, and it said Van Daminator.
Oh.
And I was like, oh. Why was I with WWE Stacker 2, though? That doesn't make sense, does it? Because I did the Van Daminator years before that. How could I?
Yeah.
How could I have been Stacker 2 before WWE? That's, huh.
Did you do a move too called No, you didn't do a move called the Van Dominator too. You didn't do one of that. I was trying to think if that was.
No, but he was somewhere. I got the Van Daminator from him first.
Yeah.
But he did give me the T-shirt that said that. Even if I may have heard him use it years before, I don't know. But he also gave me a magazine that he was in that talked about this famous life scene that Chuck had, because he Scores Gentlemen's Club in New York City was his hangout. He was like the godfather there, like, and he like had his people go there to pay homage to him or whatever. I saw him there one time, hung out with him. Actually, now that I think about it, it was embarrassing because my friend lost his money, Brian, and
Brian,
I know I told you, yeah.
No.
Well, don't tell him that. But I told the story before, though. He had like $750, and then there's all these strippers around the table, for a second, talking to Chuck. Boom, boom, boom. Then they're gone, and so's his money.
Oh, no.
Oh, it was so embarrassing because he's trying to get to the bottom of it, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't know this guy. I wish you took it, hey, just check it, oh my God, and finally Chuck is like, hey, you know what? She said she didn't do it. It wasn't in there. It's over, okay? Something like, like a Godfather, like kind of thing. Like,
yeah. I like my money.
Forget about it.
What are you gonna do? You asked her, she said no. What are you gonna do? Check her asshole?
Exactly. Oh.
He was a guy that you didn't want to intimidate.
No, I bet not.
Yeah. But anyway, one time the way the story goes, you're hearing it, RVD's version, but I read it and he told me, and he was at Scores one time and Jean-Claude Van Damme came in, and the bouncers came up to Chuck while Chuck was in the bathroom, and a bouncer, one of them, and he said to him, hey, Jean-Claude's out there talking shit about you. And he was like, what? And the way he said it, he said, yeah, he says that you got no heart. And he says, Jean-Claude said that about me? And he said, yeah, I just thought you should know, man. Chuck used to bodyguard for him and shit, so they had a relationship. But Chuck, the way the story goes, Chuck went out there, and Jean-Claude was sitting in a seat and had a girl on his lap. And Chuck said that I don't know if he sat in the seat facing him or if he was standing. I can't remember that part. It seems like he might have sat down, but either way, he got to, Jean-Claude's attention. He said, "Hey, Jean-Claude, I heard your he goes, I heard you you're saying you're talking shit about me. You're saying I got no heart." And he said that Jean-Claude what? Chuck Zito. And he took his sunglasses off and he folded them, and like started sticking them in his pocket like he was going to do something. And Chuck went bam and just boom and rolled Jean-Claude back over his seat on the floor.
Oh.
And that got him so much popularity, because then he was on Howard Stern talking about that, and everyone had that T-shirt that said Van Daminator. Even though I must have known about that before he gave me a copy, which of course I knew the story. I didn't know the exact his version or whatever, but that was the first time I heard Van Daminator was referred to him doing that to Jean-Claude. And by the way, most of his fights, like that one, was just a one-punch fight. That's the whole book. Street Justice is about one-punch fights. That guy, man, you cross the line with him, he go bam.
Damn. All right, so Celestian Prophecy and Street Justice. Those are the two. Those are
that, man. He's a badass. One time he's riding his motorcycle and this car comes up and they're kind of close to him and shit, and they like flip him off or something. And he had nunchucks on his bike and he took him out, bam, and like smashed the windshield of the car, and the car like jerked off and made a jerked the steering wheel.
Where did it slip?
Rode across the park. And
Yeah.
he put his wife through shit. I remember reading the book. His wife is on the back seat, screaming at him, and he's chasing this car down through a park, and because he would get angry, and it seemed like she really put up with a lot and had patience to stay with him as long as she did, because he seemed like kind of terrorizing.
Kind of a little terrorizing, Chuck.
Sabu put his wife through a lot too. That's kind of what the bros do sometimes.
There's somebody.
Bros gotta be bros.
There's somebody in the chat bullying me that needs to be kicked out.
What's your name?
Dude in the wig and back is annoying. Lose to dude. Hand tags equal loser.
Sayonara.
You don't like my hand
If
tag?
you guys have hand tattoos, then what's his name?
They gone. I got rid of them. Blinky Jedi. They're gone.
Blinky Jedi.
Go on, get. Thank you.
Go on, get on out of here. Get on out of here. Hey, Blue Meanie chimed in. He says he gave us $5 too. Thanks, Blue Meanie.
Hey, what up, Blue Meanie?
Hey.
Good evening, everyone. Hope all is well. Happy birthday, Dom. Thank you. One of Sabu's favorite bands was Judas Priest. Ooh, how about that?
Good to know. And that's rock and roll too, right? Like Mötley Crüe.
Heck yeah, that's rock and roll. You got another thing coming. That's one of their big songs.
Oh,
Breaking
okay. I
the Law.
remember that song.
You got another thing.
Yeah, swerfully.
Yeah. Maddie also follows up. Happy B-Day, Dom. Who would you give an Arabian Facebuster to? I don't really highly dislike somebody enough, I don't think, to give them. I'd never really hate people. I don't like people, but
yeah,
that's nice.
Yeah,
no, it's good. It kind of takes extra to really hate.
Yeah, like I don't have the time to invest in to get that angry at somebody that's cool to animals. Yeah. Somebody that's cool to animals. How about that? I'll give that them Arabian Facebuster.
You're a stupid or
Yeah, there you go.
Those are among the least favorite heels.
And then Tyler Williams for $5 says, "Yeah, but Jean-Claude never threw a chair at someone and kicked into their face to defend the TV title. So Van Daminator should be yours."
Hey, awesome. Yeah, I got to figure that out. That's so weird that now I got to look that up. I think for Stacker 2, I must have been in WWE.
Yeah, absolutely, right?
Right, yeah. And being in the Dunkin' Donuts, Providence, Rhode Island. That doesn't sound like an ECW booking, but I think I came up with the Van Daminator in 96. So now I got to look up and find out when did Jean-Claude take that bump at Scores and compare that to my 96. Man, if only I had a producer on the show that could.
I know some Dang, producer. Let's see here. I'm about to find Chuck Zito incident. Tensions arose between Van Damme and bodyguard stuntman Chuck Zito when Zito was dating Van Damme's estranged wife.
Whoa!
This is Wikipedia, so FYI, everybody knows. Zito was reportedly unhappy about LePierre's claim in a divorce action that Van Damme had abused her. On the 6th of February, 1998, the New York Daily News reported that Van Damme had been punched by Zito in a previous night at the Score strip club in Manhattan. So this was 1998, Rob.
So I had the Van Daminator first then.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes. So now what I'm only thinking, Rob, is did his thing said the Van Terminator instead, and then that you used Van Terminator?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
That would be
That's so interesting. I guess I have to remember it wrong. I don't think there's any other explanation that would make sense. Like I totally like see the shirt in my head. It's like a cartoon because like where he's punching him, his face goes like back, like
yeah.
But I wonder where I came up with it then. Because it wasn't Joey Styles calling it the Van Daminator when I was doing it in '96. What was he saying? He must say. What was it? He must have. What if he didn't do it till '98? That'd be crazy. Just find out for 2 years I did it. And maybe Joey Styles said, spinning back kick to the chair from Van Damme.
I bet your producer Chris would know this.
That's true.
Yes.
Holy crap. There's no way. No way. It's a Van Daminator.
Heck yeah.
That's crazy when one of my I told you it wasn't a good memory, Dave, but that's crazy. I totally thought that I got that from him and was somewhat, feeling kind of steely about it, like kind of thiefy. Kind of like, man, I hope that's okay with them.
Hey, but everybody
knockout punch.
Right. Everybody takes from wrestling and stuff. Gorgeous George, and Muhammad Ali, all that stuff.
Van Daminator.
Well,
maybe Jean-Claude used it and I got it from him. That would make sense, wouldn't it?
That could have been it, right? And then maybe Chuck made a T-shirt that said Van Daminator to get back at Jean-Claude. Maybe that's it.
I remember that I did see Jean-Claude use Van Damage, and I like that. And I was like, oh, I wish I would have thought of that, Van Damage.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be good, too.
Yeah.
Where'd you come up with Rolling Thunder? Or did somebody else come up with that?
Sabu did.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah, and it was a tag team move at first. So I would do the rolling senton, and he would jump over the rope and hit him with a leg drop, and we would time it, boom, so we hit him at the same time, usually, like 90% of the time. And then we would have variations of it. Sometimes I would do the rolling senton, and sometimes I'd do like a rolling splash, and he would do a leg drop, and sometimes he would just do a like a helo senton splash over the top rope. We'd switch it up sometimes a little bit,
Wow.
That was fun. That was a lot of fun. That was one of the moves that I don't see anybody else grab of ours. It took some timing,
I believe that. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Jeez. This episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Let's talk about sex, guys. Remember the days when you were always ready to go? Now you can increase your performance and get the extra confidence in bed. Listen up, BlueChew.com. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but in chewable tablets and at a fraction of the cost. You can take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you receive prescription within days. The best part, it's all done online, so no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in the line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew tablets are made in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package. They always say first impressions are important. What about lasting impressions? Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. Chew it and do it. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free
When you use our promo code RVD at checkout, just pay $5 shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code RVD to receive your first month free. Visit Blue Chew for more details and important safety information. And we, RVD and I, thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast. Was there any time
we were on the top rope and we would both jump and go through the table? That took some amazing timing because if one of us broke it first, the other one was fucked. You know?
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, that had to take some real timing there.
Right.
Did you guys ever get competitive over moves that you would do? Like, for example, like, say you came up with a move and Sabu like, oh damn it, I want that one, or vice versa.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. How many times I told him his Arabian press. I'm like, dude, what you're doing the split leg moonsault. You're just 6 inches over from the corner. No, that makes it different. Yours is in the corner. That's what he did. He just did the absolutely, yeah. But it was I liked the story that it told, like when we were partners, how we would still compete and be jealous of each other. And sometimes I'd go to pin the guy at the end, and Sabu would run over and knock me out of the way and cover him instead. A lot of times I would have no idea that he was going to do that, you know?
Yeah. Dude, I was watching
with the finishing move, boom, and I'd be like going up, oh, you motherfucker.
Damn you. Yeah. Dude, I was watching back some of your old promos because I was taking some of like clips from it. And funny thing, I love it when you're like talking and you're like all confident and you're like talking yourself up a little bit, and then you kind of take a dig at Sabu. You say, yeah, but Sabu, oh yeah, we'll remember Sabu too. And then he just like shoves you real quick. Like, what? You're like, what?
That was fun. That was a lot of fun. Best stuff is always organic.
Yeah, right? Oh, and you can tell it's organic too, doing that thing.
Match where he's bald.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, how about that? Yeah.
And you're in your iconic
faded a little, but
tiger onesie.
That's the TNA show, right?
Oh wow, the TNA, yeah.
Oh, I even did my ECW kick.
I love his spinning kick in the beginning because it just exudes so much energy for no reason.
That's the tone. That's the tone for sure. Frankie, he asked this one early on. Thanks for the $5, Frankie. He says, what are some of the best martial arts movies? Also, what famous people would you smoke with if you could choose from any time or era? Some of the best martial arts movies.
Maybe I'd have a little session with Albert Einstein.
Ooh. That'd be a good one.
Pick his brain a little bit. That would be
cool. He was a pretty big smoker. I take it. Was he a pretty big smoker?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. I'd find out though.
Yeah.
He knows what's good for him. What was the other part?
Best martial arts movies, you think?
Oh, it's funny. I was just watching the Sylvester Stallone documentary. We both were last night. If you haven't seen it, it's from 2023, so it's not like it's brand new. But
Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix. It's called Sly. It was so good, so inspiring, and learned so much about him and what all he really brought to the industry. So much, like not just being an actor, but being a writer, director. Yeah. His creativity, his refusal to compromise when he wanted to stick to his guns, and how that worked out, and it was amazing. And that reminds me of the action years when I grew up, and that's what I'm created by, was watching the martial arts movies and action movies, you know, like Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger, Dolph. Those guys weren't as much martial arts as they were action, you know, a lot of fighting.
Yeah.
But then I grew up on, of course, blood sport and kickboxer, Lionheart, Best of the Best. I think we talked about that recently. I loved that movie, Best of the Best. That was so inspiring for me, watching that and trying to imitate and learn, you know, the way that those guys moved. I I liked some Best of the Best, and then what was the one from seasonal films? Jean-Claude Van Damme, No Retreat, No Surrender. And I'm not going to say those are the best, but they were a big part of my childhood, and watched them in my teen years and watched them over and over again. But there was No Retreat, No Surrender, which was one of, if not the first, Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. Like his English sucked. He looked so young in there. I barely recognize him. It was either that or Black Eagle. I'm not sure which one he did first. I think he did No Retreat, No Surrender first, but Black Eagle. No. Then there's No Retreat, No Surrender Part 2 and Part 3. King of the Kickboxers with Billy Blanks. Cynthia Rothrock was awesome. Jet Li came along, but back then it was like all the Steven Seagal movies. Above the Law, I think Lethal Weapon, or I think it was one of them.
It's not Lethal Weapon. I can't remember.
No, that's Michael Gibson. Sorry.
Mel Gibson and Danny Glover.
Above the Law, though, and whatever the sequels were, the other ones. That was a time period where action movies were like really hot, and just watching things explode and watching people fight to the death was like so popular and competitive. Like they were competing for the box office. Who's gonna be the next Seagal and Jean-Claude Van Damme were kind of like in the same area. There was a new guy named Jeff Speakman that had one or two movies, and then what happened to him, don't know. But all during that time, man, it was great for me though. I like soaked up a lot of that energy like a sponge.
What do you think of Jackie Chan? Did you like Jackie Chan?
I love Jackie Chan. And who was in Ong Bak? What's that guy's name?
Somebody just mentioned that in the chat here.
That's not. Yeah, that guy too.
Is it Jet Li? Is that who it is?
No.
Well, I'm about to find out.
Okay. For the same, Jackie Chan. Once it became more known and promoted that he does his own stunts, it made him a lot more interesting to watch him.
Yeah.
Tony
Jaa. Tony Jaa.
That motherfucker too. Like he does his own stunts, and they're crazy. Like he runs like a group of people, and he runs across their heads and stuff. That doesn't seem possible, but he took it to a whole new level.
I believe that. Holy smokes. To your point about Stallone too, how he stuck to his guns. I got a little bit of that when I was on the Rocky set for Creed. He got first day on set. It's like we're all at ringside, and Stallone shows up, and he gets in the ring, and he's bouncing around, and then I see him walk over to the apron there, and I'm literally underneath him, and I'm hearing him yell, tell somebody, he's like, "Hey, what the fuck is this?" And the guy goes "What are you talking?" He's like, "This is not regulation size ring." He's like, "This needs to be a fucking regulation size ring in here." So that was my first impression of Stallone getting in the ring, and he was pissed. And I was like, "Holy shit, this is gonna be wild!" And sure enough, next day they fixed the ring. The ring was all ready to what it was. But he was the coolest dude throughout the whole. He was interacting with all the extras, and he was a cool guy to be around and stuff.
He comes across that way on his reality show,
Yeah.
Him and his wife and his daughters. I love that show. He's just the man of the house, and they all love him and respect him so much. And he seems like such a cool dad, husband, dude.
Yeah.
And something else that the documentary pointed out, and it took me a while to try to find all. I kept saying, "What is the third one?" They said that this motherfucker has been had made 3 successful franchises, and I was like, "Whoa, wait, Rambo and Rocky, obviously." And I kept saying, "I wonder, is it Tulsa? It can't be Oklahoma, Tulsa King, or." And then I was asking, "What do you think the third one is?" And then boom, Expendables. That's right.
Yeah, Expendables.
3 different, complete, multi-million-dollar franchises that motherfucker was responsible for. What a career!
What a career! My favorite movie.
What a drive!
And he had a lot of depth in his writing.
Oh yeah, he's a really good writer. everybody's like, oh, what's your favorite Rocky movie? And everybody goes like Rocky 4 or like, they'll say that one a lot. But my favorite is the first one because he loses. And it's just like he goes the distance, and it's just I like that story a lot more. I don't know.
When he explains the depth of the characters and how well he knows them, like as an actor, it's like so impressive and so like beyond anything that I ever do. If I'm not writing it, like I can't connect with the part to the extent. Well, he did write it, but I'm just saying, like for me, a lot of times I don't even know my lines. I mean, I don't even bother. I'm not proud of that, but it's the way it is a lot of times. And this motherfucker is going on to say like, no, but see, that's the difference. This guy in Rambo, he's a loner. He hasn't even talked to anybody in years, and now he's gonna say this thing. And it's gonna be, he doesn't even communicate. And then he's like with Rocky, no, he's the other. Like he loves people. He wants people to be around him. And it was like so impressive to hear how many dimensions he added to these what would have been, 1 or 2 dimensional characters and made them like so full. I was just blown away by it.
And that's how those became franchises too, I'd imagine. Like the fans are able to connect with those, characters in so many ways.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I love Stallone.
Yeah, I got my one book, the graphic novel that I wrote, Twisted Perception. That one is still teasing being made into a movie like every once in a while, and not too long ago too, I got a possible update on that happening. So something that someday could maybe come through, along with a million projects, that I've been part of or have my hand in or have started and not finished or whatever. But that, like, since I wrote that, like, I know that character that well. Like, I totally know he would say that or he wouldn't say that, and this is why. Like, this is why he would never do that or this and that. But outside of that, I can't say that I've ever, been able to connect with a part that was written for me or written that I'm supposed to as an actor become. Like, it's like, I'm not that good of an actor. I could do it my own if I created it in my head, maybe. Still doesn't mean I can portray it as good as, good actors. But I'm saying it's understanding that is like on a whole nother level.
Oh man, there's so many layers to going to that. And everybody has their own method of acting though too, where it's just like, oh, they really wrap themselves in the character or like live that stuff. And like some people are just able to do it like off the cuff and like kind of get a vibe for it. It's
one of the rules of thumb that makes sense, that I find to be true, that Ellen Gerstein, shout out to my old acting coach from LA. Ellen Gerstein made sure that I understood when you're doing a scene, you got to know that the character you're playing, they came from somewhere before that, and they're going somewhere after that too.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's good.
That in mind, it makes it not just about getting these words right, but about understanding that part of that person's day. And
something I learned in acting class too was the magic if, I think it was called or something. And it's like as if, so it's like, say if you're not living that, you didn't just kill the guy in the play, but you can relate it to something. It's as if you like had to put something else down, or I don't know, but you compare it to something that you've done in your life, and you can kind of convey that through that. So it's like making that kind of analogy too.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Making it real by replacing by your own thoughts, all that. Yeah.
All that. Yeah. That kind of thing. So pretty.
I started like a lot of my first acting parts I got, I would just be like, well, this is Rob Van Dam saying this line. People like Rob Van Dam. So I'll just, and it didn't really think so much about being like a real person. Just think about it, just like the 7-Eleven commercial, hey kid, that Slurpee looked really good, or whatever. I don't even know what the fuck I said, but the name's Dutch.
He played himself in every movie like Kevin Hart.
True, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's true too. Frankie asks this. What's the riskiest spot you've done in a match?
Well, the one that sticks out in my mind is the jump that I did from the top rope out to Bam Bam Bigelow, which
Oh.
everyone has seen. It's been played. Ooh, eat that one. It's been played a million times, you know, and the reason is it was a risk. Like I'm standing up there on the top rope. Bam Bam Bigelow's out in the crowd, 5th row, the way the story goes. But sometimes when you go to jump off the rope, the rope will slide. There's a steel cable and there's like a hard plastic hose over the cable. And if it slides, if it spins, then you're fucked. Because then your momentum is going to go fizz, and you're not going to be able to push off. And I remember when I was standing there, I was thinking, like, I really want to be able to push off and get as much distance. But if it rolls on me and my feet slide underneath me, I'm probably going to hit that guardrail, like on the back of my neck somehow, and die. And I remember thinking that. And, you know, usually the hard plastic cable covering is taped in the corners. But all of us that have been around for a while have had some experiences where that shit rolls, comes undone or whatever. And that's what was going through my mind. Yeah.
Man, yeah, that's a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I was just like, oh gosh, I'm gonna do one of Saboo's prayers here.
yeah. What about the one I was thinking of was when you did the elimination chamber one, where you jumped when it was off the top of the chamber there thing onto Triple H.
Yeah, you know, yeah. At the time, it didn't seem like a huge risk, but that might have been because more of the risk was my targets risking his safety over mine in retrospect. Because for me, I mean, I'm up there high, but that part isn't super scary or even super risky. I mean, I know gravity will take me down. It was just a matter of how far out do I push. I don't know how to judge that. There's no spring. It's a solid. And also, I don't know, from being up this high, if I'm going to go out further just from having my arch extended. And so, you know, in retrospect, it was a risk that it was risky enough to I fucked it up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's in such a foreign environment in that elimination chamber when it's like, it was the first one, wasn't it? Or at least it was your first one. It was everybody's first one. Okay.
Yeah. And it wasn't my idea, but I'm definitely not trying to deflect any blame. I thought I could do it. And when I was up there, I went to stand, and I was like, well, I can't stand all the way. Like, I have something over my head. And even though, you know, I don't even have to stand all the way up to do the frog splash in the corner. A lot of times I just do it from a squat. And, you know, I don't stand but being bent down and having that over my head, I felt like I can't even stand up without hitting it and it fucking up my move, my momentum, my direction, everything. So I wanted to go out, but I didn't want to go out too far. So, yeah, I misjudged it. And when I came down, my shin hit him across his neck. And I don't think I even knew, you know, I knew it probably wasn't the cleanest frog splash. But outside of that, I didn't understand right away. And I don't remember at what point did I know, you know, that I had hurt him. But crushed his esophagus.
Oh, man.
Trachea?
Trachea,
maybe? I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Got some more super chats here. Josh Kelly, thanks for the $5. Is there a signature Sabu move that you want to see live on that should be named after him, or where he's mentioned every time he's used Sabu chair throw? It's used. Let me try to read it. Is there a signature Sabu move that you'd want to see live
Live
on? Thank you. Live on that should be named after him, or where he's mentioned every time it's used.
Yeah, maybe, you know, why not, you know, but it's kind of funny that, like, every time someone uses a table at all, they're kind of paying homage to him.
Yeah.
You know, that was really his thing. Like, I don't know. I don't think people notice, but I don't use a table that much myself. When I do, it's not my idea. You know, like when I wrestle Sabu, it would be his table. Or if I bring it out or whatever, it's because of the story. He's put me through tables. I'm going to put him through it. But just FYI, whenever I work somebody new, you know, whether it's Decker Channing, Channing Decker, Decker Channing, Decker
Channing
Channing.
Decker. Channing Decker.
Channing Decker. Sorry, bro. I do that. I told you it's a travel. It's a
Travel thought.
It's a jet lag day for me. So, but like, for instance, before the match, almost always, just like before the interview, when they say, "Hey, you know, is there anything you don't want to talk about?" Before the matches, they always end up saying, "You know, is there any, you know, let me know what you need, like under the table or under the ring, as far as weapons or you know, tables and shit like that. Like, let me know." I always get asked that, and I always just a chair.
Yeah,
just a chair. I never initiate the idea of using a table. That's just is not my preference. Sometimes it's cool. It's never my idea. Usually the other guy even initiates it and I put it on him. But that's something that people that think that I had the, you know, electric pizza cutter weed whacker matches, they probably don't realize that I never even fucking wanted the tables. Like, it wasn't something that I didn't want, but it wasn't something that I like. If I'm wrestling XO Rotten, there's no table.
Yeah.
I wouldn't bring it out for me to put someone through it unless it was Sabu, or unless the table was brought out by us to be used as a weapon during the match or something like that. But that wasn't my thing, just a chair. So FYI, I bet you didn't know that. You never noticed that shit, did you?
Didn't mark that one down, did you, in the dirt sheets? Did you see Sami Zayn paid tribute to Sabu on Saturday Night's Main Event?
Oh, cool. I haven't
He
seen
did.
that one yet.
Yeah, he did the Arabian press to the outside
Awesome.
onto either Braun Breaker or Seth Rollins, and then he pointed it up. He pointed up to Sabu, which was cool. Yeah,
didn't see that.
Yeah, I know he was a big fan of Sabu.
Cool. Yeah, I saw the Briscoe brother do fucking bam, got pie faced coming off the chair.
Yeah.
Man, maybe we'll
keep going.
Yeah, keep on going for sure.
Every week to tribute to Sabu. We could, but yeah, I mean, it'd be cool if he had like an annual show or something that was like a Sabu memorial, like they do with Owen Hart or whatever. But you know, who knows? I'm still obviously very, very much dealing with just losing him, and I'm very happy, and his family is pleased to see the outpouring of love from all the fans, and I will be planning on going to both services, by the way.
Hell yeah, man. Nice tribute to him for sure. You've done a great job at keeping him relevant and in the public eye too. It's been great too. Necro Warlock. I'm just Thanks for the $20. Hey Rob, big fan for many years. Just want to.
It's because I'm back here. It makes your head look like 5 times the size of mine. But I can't stay like close up because it hurts.
Yeah, you can't. It's kind of hard to balance it out when you.
I do if I lean forward, but then my back will be hurting, so that's why. I
Yeah, right. I know my back's feeling a little bit right now. For sure. Necro Warlock. We'll just say it like that. Warlock. Hey, Rob, big fan for many years. Just want to thank you for the years of entertainment and putting your body on the line for us to achieve that. And also wanted to give my condolences about Sabu. His legacy will not be forgotten. Very nice, Ted.
Appreciate you, Necro Warlock.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Definitely, man. I'm looking forward to getting this documentary out for everybody, the Sabu one. But, you know, we got to put his ending on it, and he's not ended yet.
Yeah.
His adventure currently continues. Like I said earlier, if you missed it, June 21st, we are going to have services for Sabu in Lansing, Michigan. Between now and then, we have to recover his body, and the time window will end in which the next of kin status will transfer from his wife Hitomi to his sister, and then we'll be able to plan more, including the Las Vegas services, and also something that I'm really looking forward to. We'll get his cause of death.
Yeah. Getting all that figured out. That would definitely be a key part of it too. Yeah. But it's cool that they're both having a service in Lansing for family and friends and the fans as well. And then one in Vegas too.
Yeah. I've always, and we've talked about this, but I always feel like for me, I always feel like when my peers pass away and then fans want to, I don't know, be part of it or whatever, sometimes I feel like they're pushed away in a way that's not only unnecessary, but probably, oh, look, that's what that shirt looks like, right? That new one that you got. Is that blue?
Yeah.
That PWT Pro Wrestling
shirt.
I
got that from WWE. The one that was
right.
Yeah.
Is that what that's what it is, right? That design?
Kind of.
I think so. Anyway, sorry. I was saying
talking about fans going to services.
Yeah, so I've always felt, like when people are like, "Hey, relax, let them rest in peace," and I always feel like, I've always thought like, if it was me, I would probably want the fans to be able to attend my services. You know what I mean? And for a lot of people, they're just like, leave their family alone. Let them just relax and rest. I don't think necessarily the talent wants that. I think it's circumstantial, probably, depending on who you're talking about. But overall, when you're talking about a public figure and somebody that worked hard to climb the rankings of being a superstar, which means building your fan base, sometimes you don't want to just be forgotten real quick. And that's what you're doing by saying, relax, leave them alone. Let the family just mourn and shut up about it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. And, wrestlers are such in the public eye and everything like that. It's a matter of like, they see them all the time, especially in nowadays world too, where you can go watch a Sabu versus RVD match on YouTube, or you can do anything to that effect. So they're always relevant and in the thing. So it's just like, yeah, why not give them a good send off in regards to having everybody kind of get involved? But obviously, too, that's up to the family and what they choose too. But it's a good balance to have.
I used to, like years ago, I used to say maybe I would have my services like on pay-per-view or something, which would
you're not gonna die,
which would be weird. But someone has done that since though. That was my idea like decades ago. But yeah,
somebody did do that.
Anyway, yeah. Oh. But anyway, I'm not going anywhere. But the thing is, I would hate it if all of a sudden fans were all shut out, and then it was like, dude, let the family just mourn and move on. Like, it's not about that. Like right now, every day is still Sabu Day. Like when I look on YouTube, like everyone is still like doing so many new videos on him, and it's he and I know a lot of us really have had an impact on people's lives. Let's not ignore that.
Yeah, no, not at all. Right? There was, I don't know if you saw this, Rob, but like when Sabu passed, somebody wrote this was years ago that they wrote up for Sabu. They tweeted at him that like, you changed so many people's lives and you helped so many people's lives. And Sabu was like, no, come on, get out of here or something. He said like something like that. And somebody retweeted it. But I thought that was such a cool thing that that was kind of connected to somebody. He said that you literally changed my life and everything like that. And I thought that was
he probably would say, LOL, okay.
Yeah, that's kind of what he said.
Yeah.
We'll close it out with this super chat here.
Let me just add, we saw on Dark Side of the Ring, we all saw Sabu talking about the funeral services and saying, when someone passes and you go to the funeral, that's for the people that are still alive, to let them know how much you love that person. The person that's passed already knows that you love them, whether you're at their funeral or not, because they felt it. So we all remember Sabu saying that, and I think that can be applied here, where we're talking about June 21st. It's available to friends, family, and fans in case you want to be there with other people that loved them. That's what it's about.
Absolutely. Yeah, cool stuff. Yeah, always thinking about Sabu, and it's good the fans are still vocal about him and sharing stories, sharing clips, and everything like that, and all the matches that YouTube Chris has been putting up there. So it's been awesome stuff that everybody can check out too. So, all right, here's the super chat that I didn't get to yet. Alex Cosinetto, a fellow Italian, thanks for the $2. He says, "Who's the biggest jerk in the history of wrestling?"
Andy Kaufman.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. I don't know. Oops. I don't think I made the roll. Did I do it? I don't know. I just looked like my momentum got
This looks like more recent.
This is Penta and his brother. This was the TNA match that during COVID that started my last run.
Yeah. Okay. Damn, it's so good.
That's 2.5 right there.
God. You're the best.
That is so good, though.
Penta?
Well, Penta is, and his brother, but his brother, like just seeing his high spot reels and shit is like amazing, the stuff that he pulls off.
My gosh, yeah.
What's his name, the brother?
Ray Phoenix.
Oh, yeah.
Ray
Yeah.
Phoenix.
Yeah. Both of them really good, and a little bit in different ways. I mean, Penta's he's the older brother, right? So he's a little.
Penta's older, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's a little bit more, comes across like that, a little more like Big Brother, like he's a little bigger, he's a little more solid in his foundation, whereas Ray wrestles a little bit like someone that's younger, but his freaking talent is amazing. Boom! I wish I would have come.
Look at that.
I wish I would have come up with that move whenever I see him do that. It's like,
I know that's a damn good one right there.
I do it. I'm taking his move, Yeah. So, dude, we got River City Con coming up this coming weekend, June 7th, June 8th in
St. Augustine, Florida.
Yep. Ooh. Not Jacksonville, but very close to it, 40 miles from
We're going to be there, and there's a lot of wrestlers going to be there.
River City Con. I heard good things about that.
Star-studded.
Yes. We'll probably do another show before then because of the days that were gone, unless you want to do it on the weekend. I think maybe I might be good for Thursday, Dominator.
All right, we can do. Yeah, I think I should be fine Thursday. Yeah.
We got little Guido already confirmed to be on the show with us.
Oh yeah, so there you go, guys. Dude.
Nunzio.
No, hey. I'm pumped for that.
Great dude, one of my favorite people.
No joke. It was you and him were my two favorite ECW guys. So you guys on
this
awesome.
Gonna be pretty damn
I always loved him. Always got along great with him. And I wrestled him. Man, we should get footage of this. Ooh. I wrestled him way back in IWF for Eddie Mansfield at Universal Studios.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then later on, so that would have been 92, maybe 93. And then in 96, when I met him at ECW, he's telling me that we worked before, and I didn't remember the match. And I totally, every time he'd bring it up, I'd be like, "You always say that, but I don't think so, dude. There's no way." He goes, "Yeah, you don't know it was me because I was really fat." Well, I finally actually found evidence of it, and he's right. I didn't know that was him. He was like 240 pounds.
Oh my god!
Holy shit! Was he really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and so I had no idea that was the same guy, and I still don't remember the match. But like I said, I saw proof. We'll have to try and get footage of that for next week too.
Yeah. At least a picture.
Like within the last year, so it exists somewhere.
I'll have to do a deep dive and try to find something.
Yeah, he used to wrestle for a shoot group, and damn, I didn't know we put Phoenix to the table like that.
You like a lot of times when you're selling, your legs are like this.
like mommy when she's laying on the back.
Like your spread eagle for no reason.
Yeah, he was like 240 pounds, and he wrestled for this shoot group. I think it was UWF in Japan.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
total different dude.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
he actually did submission wrestling, and like, just like Sabu, like, he was an amateur wrestler, but you wouldn't really know that when you're seeing the homicidal character in the ring like that. You wouldn't know that he can actually roll with you on the ground. And same thing with little Guido. It just, it's like just an interesting fact that happens to be true about him.
Right. And yeah. Man, so many cool personas back then too, man. I was such a huge mark for Guido. So it'll be neat to have him on here. It'll be neat to have him on for sure.
Yeah.
I like making fun of him for having such big shoes.
Yeah, that's crazy. Jim the Don says he's gonna be making some chicken parmesan for that episode.
That sounds good too.
Yeah.
I like chicken parmesan.
Hell yeah. Cool, guys. This has been a fun one. Nice to chat it up, guys. If you're interested, please be sure to sign up for onlywrestlers.com. Onlywrestlers.com. You can sign up as a fan, or if you're a talent, sign up as a creator. And you can get in the mix on there, and there's plenty of perks that come with that too. So check it out and go and register there. Also, didn't get to plug the copy, but be sure to go to rvd420.com. Greek Glass, our friends at Greek Glass, they make awesome glassware that Rob has Rob's labels and logos and stuff on there. So check it out there. They do great work. And be sure to Van Daminator the like and subscribe button up there and support the show. But yes, we'll convene later on this week, Rob.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And y'all go follow me on Instagram.
Yeah.
Katie Forbes, the number 4 real.
And I still don't have Facebook, by the way.
Don't you?
No, like I think I might just forget about it. I don't know. It just kind of makes life easier. Like one less message box to look at. I don't know.
Yeah. There you go. One less thing off.
That's the plan.
Yeah. So don't follow Rob on Facebook. Follow him everywhere else.
I have the personal page or profile, but not the fan page. I guess fans know the difference. I don't know.
Yeah. Facebook's a little weird in that regard. All right. See you guys next week here on One of a Kind with RVD and KT. All right.
Hey.
Yeah. Thanks, Van Dam fam. Thanks, Dominator.
See y'all
You're
Thursday.
welcome, guys. See you guys. Boom.
Sponsored by Live Right, publishers of the new book Victorian Psycho by Virginia Fado. Soon to be a feature film, this tale of a bloodthirsty, vengeful English governess has been called the bloody belle of the 2025 Literary Ball by Oprah Daily. Victorian Psycho, wherever books are sold.